Connect, explore, and engage with the latest in digital products from the world's best brands only at Quartz. And for a limited time only, purchase any digital product at Quartz and get a chance to win a magical Disney vacation. Plus, get a free LG Touch mobile phone with the purchase of selected LG products. Or you can win one of 3 Acer tablets with select purchases. Shop today and pay only $1 down. Connect, explore, and engage now only at Quartz, bringing value home.
All in all, party people, Saturday, June 29th, Certified Entertainment presents the party called Graduation Grand Finale 2013. Introducing the first time in Belize, Los Angeles' next biggest sound, Mighty Force, Selector Mike and Glamour D. Mighty Force, the Mighty Force in the area. Also featuring music by International Vibes, Outer Orange Walk, Evolution Sound, Mr. Frisco and Miss Bliss. All inside Tropicana Lounge, June 29th. A party time, believe it.
Gates open at 9, so party early. This event powered by Digicel 4G.
Lend a helping hand when you can. One day you're gonna need it. This world is wrong, and don't you forget it. Hand wash hand, hand wash hand, hand wash hand. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Hand wash hand, hand wash hand, hand wash hand.
Welcome back. We almost had a show between the break. Behind the scenes,
show between the break.
We're back, and Paco, you wanted to share with our viewers and listeners a letter that you sent to the OAS. You had the audacity to write the OAS.
Absolutely.
Tell us what you told them.
Yes, basically, the BCJ wrote the OAS Secretary General in Sulza an open letter, basically talking about what the BTV came across when we went to Dolores at the border. And we also expressed, in a very, very courteous manner, but very straightforward, our disdain for the way that they're handling the situation. Because our understanding is that the OAS should be functioning as an impartial arbiter. But from time to time, we've seen that their approach is rather skewed. And we draw upon instances such as the developments within the so-called adjacency zone, things that have been brought to their attention, things that they actually know of based on what we've experienced out in the field. They know it's there. But number one, we have no support coming from our so-called leaders in Belmopan. And, of course, well, the Guatemalans aren't going to say anything about it because I think it's part of an insidious plot by them. So we brought it to the attention of the OAS Secretary General. I know for a fact that he got it because the intermediary that I checked with at the OAS to ensure that he got it said that he did.
Okay.
Well, that letter was written on the 25th of April, and we still await word from you, Mr. Insulza, with regards to the concerns we raised. Moving on, what I'd like to talk about a little bit, if I may, is the whole issue of the border. And someone brought to my attention that Godfrey Smith wrote a very interesting article a couple weeks ago about his experience in the Chiquibull Forest. That's something that we really need to look at from the perspective of the BTV also, because that is also along our border, which is defined. But one of the things I wanted to talk about is our BDF personnel. I give the utmost respect to the BDF because they are frontline soldiers. They're the ones that are vested with the responsibility to take care of business. So enough respect to the BDF. But with regards to the BDF, I want to talk a little bit about our perspective in terms of their inappropriate use. Those of us who live in Belize City know that we have BDF in the city patrolling the streets. Indeed, we have issues here in Belize City, but I, in my humble opinion, believe that the role of the BDF should be primarily to protect our borders. Now, you always hear a lot of talk about, oh, well, we don't have enough manpower, and that's not coming from the BDF. That's coming from the politicians, the ones who are vested with the responsibility of doing these things, allocating funds or what have you. They always say that we don't have the capacity, we don't have this, we don't have that. You see this glass right here? There's an old saying. When you look at it, is it either half empty or half full? Well, we believe that our leaders, through successive administrations, not just this one, the one prior to that, and for years that have gone by, they have a defeatist attitude when it comes to Guatemala. And the Guatemalans know it. Because whenever we go into discussions with the Guatemalans, we always go in with a sense of apprehension. We always go in as though we're the small player in this thing. Well, I have a word for you, our so-called leaders. That's not the way you negotiate. You negotiate from a position of strength. I show you the glass of water because it's a question of is the glass either half empty or half full. Getting back to the issue of the BDF, we firmly believe that the BDF should have their primary function as working along the border. Will has demonstrated through the Belize Territorial Volunteers that we have Belizeans in the districts, whether it be Toledo District, Stanton Creek District, Cayo, all the way up to Orange Walk, that are willing to take and do their part with regards to manning the border. Manning the border in the sense of clearing it. We're not talking about demarcating, because I heard Ambassador Martinez try some semantics one day talking about demarcation of the border. And we're not talking about demarcating the border, no. We're talking about staying on our side of the border, clearing our side, identifying those cairns that the British set up, and utilizing the technology that is there. You see, once the people of Belize are attuned to the fact that going to the border is our right. No one can stop us from going to the border, and we can do productive things, proactive things on the border to ensure that there is a presence. So our call is that the powers that be allocate the allotment of BDF personnel as they should be used. That is, to man our borders. The borders are there. I always hear Will say, to a certain extent, that it would take